And we are live. You can catch us on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. And we got a very special guest today. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be right back with you, Howlers.
House of a Bass. I'm Ronnie Adams.
I'm Jacob Casas, and this episode is called Reap What You Sow. And we got a very special guest I've been trying to get on here for a little while. We kind of go back, but I want him to go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience and tell them a little bit about what you do.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Ricardo Montano. I'm a creative. I'm a new author, and I'm just a brown kid from Fontana. I'm just out here. Been doing this for about 15 years now. I feel like I got a lot of information. I got a lot of things I've been through in my life, and I feel like it's time to share.
I want to get into a little bit about what you do with your brand. So his brand, you want to tell everybody the name of your brand?
Yeah, so the brand is Barely Broke. I do have another brand called Everyone Isn't Loyal, which is where I'm a creative director at, but my brand, Barely Broke LA, is my main brand, my core brand. I spell wrong one thing.
Okay, you gotta fix that, the spelling on it, on his brand. Cool, thank you. I'm glad you pointed that out because we're the beginning of the show, man.
Right.
We gotta make sure we got that one.
I don't want anybody going to the wrong site.
Yeah. So man, I wanted to kind of get into your brand. Okay, so first off, do like a little pitch on your brand, explain it a little bit, and then we're gonna dive into you personally.
Well, there's no real pitch. The brand is me. So Barely Broke is my life. So I'm telling you my story from being a kid of an immigrant. I'm telling you the things that I believe in. I'm telling you stuff that I've been through in my life. So the brand in itself, to the core, is my life. So I'm telling my life through the brand.
Okay, I want everybody to kind of take a look at the poncho he got on, man. That's his brand right there. I like the style, dude. I'm loving that. Nobody's doing that. He has his own thing going, man. And you sew and you stitch all this.
Yeah, not anymore. I definitely started off sewing, doing everything by hand.
So you designed that whole thing.
Yeah. No, I designed this. I did it, inside out. I sewed the inside panel, printed the inside. Yeah.
Man, okay, so let's get into that a little bit now. So, Barely Broke. Tell us how you started that. How that whole thing came about.
Well, Barely Broke honestly came from a lyric. There's a song by Lord Tyreek and Peter Guns, and he says, "Not filthy rich, but bitch, I'm barely broke." Mm-hmm. And it just stood out to me. I was like, "Yo, that saying." Yeah. So when I heard that, I was like, that just spoke to me. I was like, "Yo, that's how I feel right now. Yeah. I'm not filthy rich, but I'm barely broke." Yeah. So that. I carry
speaking that language.
Yeah,
I'm on now.
Yeah, so I carried that with me, and I was like, man, Barely Broke sounds like a cool name. But then the confirmation came when I heard it in a Pac lyric. I heard it in Ambitions as a Rider. Okay. So he says, not equipped with a Benz, cause bitch I'm barely broke. Mm-hmm. And he says it's like a quick line. You can't really tell he said barely broke, but he said it. I looked it up, and I was like. That was my confirmation because Pac is my favorite artist. So I was like, yo, if Pac said it, he's my favorite artist. I listen to Pac every day, all day. So I was like, this is it. Barely Broke's going to be the name. Mm-hmm. And I just ran with it. I started putting it on shirts. It was spray painted shirts in high school. And then people were like, yo, that saying's it. Like, that's how I feel. And everybody would either smirk or smile, but they would get a reaction.
You loved it.
And I was like, that reaction is testimony that that's the name of my brand.
Wow.
Yeah, so then I just ran with it, and sure enough, to this day, people do that smirk and do that like little giggle or like, yo, what does that mean? That's dope. I like that. So I think that's one of the most important things when you're building a brand. You have to have that name that like is just true to you, and then people are like just want to question like, what's that about? What is that? you don't want that stale, like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
I feel like when I was coming up with the name, I was like, I need something that's going to start a conversation. I need to touch somebody out the gate. So that's why I felt like the name. It took me a minute to come up with it, but when I found it, it was just it.
So let me ask you a question. Already, I know the viewers feel the passion that you already speak with, you know,
Yeah.
and barely broke. That means you came from somewhere,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
Can we get into a where you come from? Like,
Yeah.
where did this, you know? And you,
Yeah.
I know you like hearing the lyrics of this song, and I
Yeah.
know that's where you relate to,
Yeah.
you know. But where were you in this
Yeah.
time of, you know, creating who you are
Yeah.
with this?
To be honest, like, I mean, I'm from Fontana. I grew up just, middle class kid. I don't want to say I was poor. I don't want to say I was, like, I did come from a little broken home, but I don't like to say like I came from poverty because I did have a home. I had food on the table. But, I had that story of like, I faced a lot of adversities as a kid.
Talk about it.
I went to jail as a kid. I ended up getting a felony at 18, which didn't allow me to get jobs. So from the beginning, I was already like against the system.
And you had to get it differently.
I had to get it differently. Like I couldn't go get a job because I had the F. So it's like I was already struggling to just
Damn.
be a regular citizen. So I think with Barely Broke in the brand, like it was more fuel for me to be like, this has to be it, because I'm trying to get into the workforce and I'm trying to be a good person because my parents want me to work and they want me to do right, but it's like I can't.
And they not letting you.
And they're not letting me. So it's like, it was tough, man. It's been a journey of adversity, but I feel like I couldn't have it any other way because that's what fueled a lot of the designs. That's what fueled the passion inside the brand, and that's what really just like elevated the brand, and that's why people really relate to it because it comes from a place of like struggle and adversity.
Let's get into that real quick though, because you guys gotta know something about him, man. So I known him a little while, right? When he says people really relate to it, like that is like not even getting close to explaining. He has like a major cult following, this guy.
Yeah.
Like he has people. I mean, when I first I met him through other people, and when we started doing some little things together. But when I met these people and the way they talked about him and his brand, these dudes were like it seemed like it was their brand. Like the way they talked about it, they were
Yeah.
so passionate about
They
it.
was living it.
Right.
They
Yeah.
were living what you're talking about.
Right.
And that's how I look at you. Is
Yeah.
like, you says, I'm not rich, but
Yeah.
bitch, I'm barely broke.
Yeah. Right.
I'm living that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not rich.
Yeah.
But I ain't broke.
Yeah, I'm hustling.
I'm
That's the
getting it
thing,
done.
I'm still getting it done. Like I'm not gonna play the victim role, and I'm not gonna be like, man, like all this stuff has happened to me. Like, damn, I got a felony. Like that's why I can't do this or do that. It's just like you got to figure that out.
But a lot of people are living what you're saying. I'm barely broke, and then,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
some people are like, "Damn, I'm broke."
Well, we know how it is to be brown and black in Fontana back in the day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting pulled over for any little thing and
Right.
getting thrown on the hood of the car and stuff
Right.
like that. It's different now. I mean, we're older and it is a little different out here. But
Yeah.
back then, we get pulled over for nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And also there was like racial tension. Right. It sucked because it just felt like, minorities was against minorities, and then you had the other opposition too, where it's just like the police side of it. It was I want to say it was not easy
To get
to,
it that-
to
yeah.
really navigate through like
Right.
the racial tensions going on in school with black and Mexican, and then it's like then you leave school, and then it's like the police aspect of it. So it's like, you know what I mean? You do got, it was a battle. It's a battle you got to go through. But honestly, it's like, it makes you who you are. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I wouldn't have it any other way. But also for me, like when those racial things was going on, I hung out with a lot of black folk too. And I feel like I never was in the mix to that because I was cool with everybody. Like I played a role to where, but then it's like you got forced into that too. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if you guys were around during that time, but it was a weird thing. But like I said, I'm glad all that shit kind of like died off, and this new generation kind of is on some more unity type of thing.
Yeah.
Which is, it's good to see that. But,
Right.
But when I was young, it was a tough little thing to navigate through.
I mean, because we were out. How old are you? Don't mind me asking.
I'm 38.
38.
He's
Okay,
around
so
our age, so yeah.
and we look at this new generation. What he's explaining to is they don't go outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we outside. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So we have a lot outside. So we got a lot more challenges.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just in school, workforce. Everything.
It came from all angles.
All angles. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah,
So-
they didn't like to see the brown and the black outside, the cops.
Yeah.
At all.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't like seeing us
And
outside.
kids these days, they don't want to go outside. So
Yeah.
that's how things shifted into, a different mindset. And, well, in most areas around this way, you still have your hoods and your stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's good to see that a man like you were able to come out of, those
Yeah.
adversities
Yeah.
those adversities that
Yeah.
you did face,
Yeah.
to become, an author of a book,
Yeah.
with the felony, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or how, you said with the F.
Yeah. that's what we used to refer to. 'Cause
Yeah,
it
yes.
was like, that's how you knew, like, okay, he got into the trouble with the system for sure. He fighting
Right.
that. But I mean, luckily I was able to like take that off my record, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
over some time, and then we were able to get some cool jobs, but it never really led to me, because the job I really wanted to get was in banking. One of my good friends, he got a job at 18 at Wells Fargo, and he was trying to slide me in. He was like, I got you. And it's crazy because I went to the interview and everything, and I got the job, and I went back home. I told my mom, like, yo, I got the job at the bank, like we popping. And she was like, she went to buy me dress clothes.
Yeah, everything.
She went
Got
to
you right.
JCPenney, and she was
Yeah.
like, yo, we gonna get you right. Like you gonna live this corporate life. Like, and I was hyped too, cause she was so happy, you know what I mean? And I remember getting a call, and they were like, yo, like, we did a background check. We were supposed to do it before, but we actually did it after the hiring process, and we seen that something came up where we have to terminate that employment. And I just remember the look on my mom's face, like, damn, like, I remember how hyped she was, and then I remember like the low, and that shit hit me. Like, to this day, bro, I can still remember that look on her face.
Damn.
So I think that's kind of what really fuels that fire too. Is I think back to those moments where I was like, damn, I almost had that like steady corporate thing where I could have had stability, but then it's like, nah,
But
bro,
you
that's
still
not
would've
what you.
been able to do this.
That's what I'm
though.
saying. Like, it's all a
You
testimony.
could have, but still, it's like
It would have been a different route.
different route, maybe, possibly.
Yeah. I could have been a little more stable, you know what I'm saying, to the point where I wasn't hustling as much, or I wasn't really like touching the people like that. Cause I was going out, bro. I was selling stuff out of my trunk. I was going to clubs selling my clothes. I was posting tables at the club. Like,
he was a whole nother level.
like it was a hustle like that I wouldn't have done if I had a regular job. I wouldn't need to do none of that.
He was slinging clothes like people were slinging drugs, man. That's
Damn.
No, yeah, I was pulling up to, like, the homies was club promoters, and he was like, bro, come through, like, I'll get you in the club and just post up I'll get you a little table in the smoking area outside, and, just do your thing. And that's what I used to do. I used to just come in with my little foldable table, and I used to have my little products, and I used to just lay them out and just sell them at the club.
Let's get into the beginning of the brand. Okay, so when you first started the brand, you came up with the name. Now, where was your mindset at that time with the brand on what you were doing? So what was like the first...
Bro, I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
Like, honest to God, like, I was doing it out of, like, necessity. Like, I need to figure this out. Like, I can't get a job. Like, so I was just, whatever. Like, I was just, my first $500 went to, like, make some teas, and I did them all wrong. You know what I mean? And I ended up having to scratch it, and I had to go back, save money for a while, and then go back to the drawing board. I didn't really have a mentor or nobody to really tell me, so I kind of learned on my own dollar. So it was just like I would raise money with the little side gigs I would get, and then I would throw it into something where I thought was how you supposed to do it, and it was not the right way. So then I'll lose that bread, and I have to go back to the drawing board. And it was this like thing of like just learning on your own dollar.
That's a lot of... So we have a lot of entrepreneurs in here.
Yeah.
Dude, you're literally just living the entrepreneurship life. That's every entrepreneur story, though,
Right.
too.
But sometimes, I mean, it's forced on you, bro.
It is.
Like a lot of people think they have to go that route. Some people like some people, it's like they have no other choice.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
it's a really different space that you have to get into.
Well, the thing is too. It's like you said you couldn't get any job because you had the F on, right? So that had to have been hard at 18 because you're barely an adult,
Right.
And it's hard to get a job anyways, and you got to go out there and fight to get a job. And at 18 years old, you're like, damn, what the hell am I supposed to do now?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
that makes sense that you're just like, now I have to force myself
Yeah.
into something.
Even though I didn't know nothing about fashion, I knew I liked fashion because my auntie, she was a seamstress, and she was an immigrant, bro. Like, I'm talking about, didn't speak English, and she still paid rent. She still ended up like having a spot where she paid rent. She had a business and literally no papers, bro, no nothing, and she still was able to make it happen by sewing. You know, she used to make dresses for quinceañeras. She used to make wedding dresses, alterations. She used to do all of this, and I remember her just like hustling and grinding and being around like that clothing hustle, and that's what really made me fall in love with it.
But your stuff is different though.
Yeah.
Like completely different.
Yeah, but
on another level different. Like
Yeah.
like people like when I see your stuff up, like you put so much thought.
Yeah.
And time into what you're putting out
Yeah.
there. Like, it's like you're legit fashion designer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, creating a whole fashion with ponchos, dude. I've never seen that. I was showing
Yeah.
so many people that before you came on today.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to know. Tell people where that comes from.
Yeah, I mean, bro, it's from my mother, really. It's like my mother's a creative, bro. Like, my mother's the type of person that will take anything and figure it out. Like, you'll show her something and be like, yo, I seen this. I don't know, like, how do you do this? She'll be like, oh, I'm going to figure it out. And she'll just, like, deconstruct shit and just figure it out. So she just, like, a natural born. She knows how to paint. She knows how to, bro, she knows literally how to do everything creative. Sew, paint, design, everything. And she'll pick it up when like, by nature, bro. Like, she's that type of creative, and I think just being around that was just like, it just made me like that. You know what I'm saying? Just it was like bred in me to be like that, because she really is like, she's more creative than me, bro. Like, hands down. Like, just because she could figure shit out, and she's patient. You know what I mean? So I think it comes from that, just the lineage, bro. The lineage of my family, my auntie, my mom, and they just played a huge role in that creativity and let me be creative. And that's the main thing. They never put my shit down, or they never judged me for, like, you know, getting into fashion or fucking up. They just always be like, just keep going.
And I see you really get into your heritage, the Mexican American heritage.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
I think it's that kind of came later in the brand. So like 2016, I felt like I just felt like I wanted to speak, because I was speaking more on topics of, like, just social things and the music. I was inspired by, like, you know, Pac, and, like, I was doing a lot of that. But then I was like, man, I want to bring people into, like, where I come from. So then I traveled. I went to Peru. My mother's Peruvian and my father's Mexican. So I went to Peru and I went to Mexico in 2016. And those trips changed my life, because I seen, like, where my family's from. I seen their culture. Like, I lived their culture. So for me, I was like, I got to bring that back into my brand. And I think that's what inspired the shift of, like, representing my culture, because I understood my culture. I went and researched my culture, where I was from. And I think I had something to say at that point. You know what I mean? It's hard to talk about your culture sometimes if you ain't really been there and you ain't felt the temperature of what it is to be there. You just reading it or getting it from another perspective. But when you actually there, it's spiritual, you know. And I felt like I just had to tell that story through my clothes. And one of the topics was "Born of an Immigrant," was a quote that I had on one of the tees, because, you know, a lot of my friends were first generation. Like, my parents are immigrants. A lot of my friends' parents were immigrants, but we didn't have a brand or even anything that had that saying on it. So it's like, I put that on the shirt, and that went crazy, bro. I'm talking about, like, people were emailing me like, man, I've been waiting for, like, a shirt that had something that related to my to you know what I mean, to represent for, like, my immigrant parents. And then it's kind of like, bro, it just blew up, and I just never looked back. I just kept telling a new story every year, 2016, 17. And then when 2020 came, there was the whole, like, immigration reform and everything going on with, like, George Floyd and all that stuff was going on. So there's a political uprising, and I was in perfect line with that because I was speaking on those topics. So it's like my shit caught extra, like it just went multiplied because I was already on that wave. And then when everybody got socially conscious, it was just like, oh, he's been talking about that.
So let's get into that, you know, because we see a book here and we see, like, you know, you said something so critical earlier. You said that's another way I like to touch people.
Yeah.
You know, so that's, you know, a gift that you said you have, like touching
Yeah.
people's heart, touching people's mind
Yeah.
and their spirit.
Right.
So, and before we get into, like, how you touch people and the book,
Yeah.
and your inspiration and how you inspire people, can you tell us about the, you know, what story are you telling in your poncho?
So, I mean, basically, this is a broken chain. So it's like freeing yourself from generational curses, freeing yourself from like the chains of like how society wants you to be. So that's what the broken chain means in the fist, and that's just empowerment. And I put it over just a traditional Aztec calendar, but I made it cropped shorter because traditionally when you wear a poncho it's long,
Right.
and it's like for winter. You know what I'm saying? So this is like a summer joint. This is something you could wear in the summer, wear it over a tank top, and then you can go out and be good.
That's
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make a version that was more like aesthetically pleasing, as like you can wear it at any time, as opposed to like, damn, I could only wear that when it's winter time.
And it's California.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's hot.
Exactly. So
almost all the time out here.
It's like a Cali perspective of a
Yeah.
poncho. You know?
It's dope, dude.
So
Yeah.
what about the touching part? Like you said, you know, and he mentioned earlier about, you know, your following.
Yeah.
You know, what are you teaching? Like,
Yeah,
what is,
because you did something to these people's minds, man.
Nah.
like
Let's
these
talk
people,
about-
these people are.
what you want to let us in on your book first before you tell us what you're teaching
I mean, that's really what I'm teaching is in that book.
in this book?
Like I'm
Shut
telling
this up right here.
I'm telling you my perspective. I'm telling you a little bit of my story and just my mind, my creative aspect of things and how I approach things. And that's where I'm, you know, that's what the book is about. It's just you getting into like me as a creative and how my brain works, you know, and how I look at certain things. And the last chapter is on like emotional intelligence.
Okay.
So it's really about like, you know, making sure your mind's right through this journey, because it's like if you don't have your self-awareness right and you don't have these things in order, it's like you could fold. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I've been through that through my journey in fashion. Like I didn't have my mind right, and I've fumbled big bags. You know, I've put myself in situations where I could have been one of the biggest brands right now.
And why wasn't your mind
Yeah,
right?
what happened?
What stage was you in?
It's
Why don't you
just
tell us about
I wasn't like prepared for those moments because I didn't have my emotional intelligence in order. You know, I had a lot of trauma. You know, I had a lot of things that you know wouldn't let me. I was scared of success. You know what I'm saying? Like I was comfortable in just representing my community and just being big in my community, but I didn't know if I was ready for the world.
So a lot of fear.
Fear is huge.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
I
what a lot
was
of.
scared.
Go ahead.
So I think fear has been, you know, something I battle with for a long time, and I feel like barely now is like I'm realizing like, and that's why I wrote the book. Is just like nah, like I'm ready for my moment.
Was this your fear overcomer?
It was, bro.
It was your fear overcomer.
Cause I'm by nature I don't write. I'm a terrible writer. I got bad grammar, punctuation, like I write
education.
I failed English, bro. Like I mean, it don't sound like
You ain't the only one, so it's all good.
like writing essays was a chore, bro. Like I used to pay the homie to write essays.
And
for
who
me.
helped you with this?
Like, I'm about essay myself.
So I had to get an editor, bro. One of my good friends, her name's Sanjia Wrights, and she's from the IE too.
Shout out to Sanjia Wrights.
Yeah, for sure. But she like she's wrote multiple books, and I one day I called her. I'm like, yo, I got this idea, but like I can't write. Like my grammar's bad. Like there's no way I can get through this shit by myself. And she was just like, yo, like I got you. Like just write. And when you finish, send it to me, and I'll you know what I mean. I'll proofread it, and I'll make sure that, you know, if you're repeating yourself or whatever, I got you. And it was just this process of a year, bro. When I moved to LA, and I was just in my apartment, bro, every day, just writing a little bit, and then sending it to her, and she was like, "Nah, you got to write more. You got to get deeper. Nah, you ain't."
Find an editor. Somebody got you.
An editor, but
Start
an editor
that
that knows you.
Yeah.
You know,
That
because
knows
like
you.
she knew my journey.
Okay.
She knew like she was a supporter for the brand, so she knew like how
Where
to
you come
speak.
from.
Not only that, but like how I talk.
Right.
You know, because she's editing it, but she's also like writing it in a form where it's legible. Because bro, if I wrote it, like it would just be run-on sentences. Like the whole shit would just be no periods. You know what I mean? No commas. Like so she had to know my voice too, and she had to know where I was coming from to really get it to sound like me too. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't want it to sound like corny, or I didn't want it to sound like a traditional way when you read a book. Like I wanted it to sound like, bro, there's slang in there and everything.
Right. I seen that.
You know what I mean? Like,
So can you give us like a snippet? Don't tell us everything that's in this book, but give us like what you think that people should know to go run to read a little bit of this book.
I think if you want to start a brand and you don't have the finances and you don't have a lot of experience, I think this book is perfect because it gives you a perspective from somebody that didn't have it and didn't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's for the person that's like just is overwhelmed by information, but like, bro, you got a lot of information and it's hard because a lot of people are like, they can't relate. You know what I'm saying? So I think it comes from a place of like damn, like this is a story that I can relate to, and I think it can inspire a lot of people that want to start brands or just a business in general.
And is it your story or just life story?
It's life, and it's a little bit of me. Like it's not like a biopic, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not telling you word for word I don't talk about like the F's and all. I don't talk about stuff like that, but I do talk about my mind, what it was to come up with the name Barely Broke, what it was to like put together my first piece, what it was to like market it, you know, promotion, what it was to like, you know, get my first model to do a photo shoot, like all that stuff, all the little details of like, you know,
building
like
building a brand.
Yeah. But it's the way I built the brand, which is my unique story. It's not the you know, the how you build a brand on ChatGPT, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not that version.
Right.
It's my version.
It's not
like,
one-on-one, you know.
Yeah, like, oh, first you got to go to here and then get this and get your business license. Like it's just like a raw version of that.
So I want to ask you. So you said you were telling us a little bit about how you're trying to figure out what you wanted to do, and overcome that fear.
Yeah.
What was the thing that made you snap to say, "Nah, I'm ready now"? What was the something happened? Mm-hmm. Where you're like, "This is it."
Honestly, it's just seeing brands that I used to like be in the same rooms with, and people used to tell me like, your brand is hotter than that brand, or used to just tell me like, you're that brand, and just like seeing exponentially how they moved and how they became huge multi-million-dollar brands, and I was still here. You know, it made me realize like, damn, I'm my own critic, bro. Like I'm the reason why my brand isn't that $1 million brand. Like these people, they seen the lane and they went for it, and they were fearless, and that's the difference. And I think seeing that's when it hit me, when I started seeing these brands come up that I used to be like, that used to ask me questions.
Where did that fear come from? Where do you think that fear came from, though, of being successful?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it's just some trauma shit that, like, you know, like I'm an only child, bro. So it's like I didn't really have brothers and sisters. I didn't really have like, I was alone a lot of the time. So it's like I didn't really have somebody to be like, yo, bro, you got this. Like, other than my mom being supportive, but I didn't have people like that were there every day being like, nah, bro, you the greatest. Like, you about to make, like, so I think I just, you know, it's a lack of that. Maybe, I don't know. Like,
can I say something?
Yeah, for sure.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, bro.
You know what I realize in life? A lot of times people only like to do what they know they can win at.
Yeah. Nah,
if they know
yeah.
they can, if they know I'm going to be successful for sure, and I'm going to win for sure.
Yeah.
I can't lose.
Yeah.
That's when that's when fear is less.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
if you know that there's an obstacle there, that's when fear come in.
Yeah.
So we have to understand that in this life, no matter what, even if we're winning, you're still gonna have fear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if like,
Right.
Michael Jordan had fear.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But the vision was bigger for him.
Right.
And he was able to overcome that. And
So that's what we got to do. We got to keep the vision.
the vision is there, because I never thought Barely Broke can be a big brand for so long. I thought it did its purpose with telling my story, and I thought that was all it was meant to be at first. And then, as I got older, I started realizing like this should be global. You know what I mean? This should be a bigger brand, and
It should be.
yeah,
Definitely.
And like I said, bro, and honestly, a lot of it too is I've struggled with building a team. Like that's always and I'm gonna blame myself, and I'm gonna take full responsibility, because I've never been a leader. Like I've never got the traits to be a leader. You know what I'm saying?
You're a creator too.
I'm a creative, but I never got the leadership skills.
So what is your next step out of fear? What's your first step out of fear right now?
So doing this.
Oh. Okay.
Like, this is my first podcast, bro. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, this is the first
I
time.
love that.
Well, I like to be your
love
first
that.
step out of fear, man. I like that shit.
It's real. Like, like just being
They
vulnerable.
caught you on camera, so
Nah, for sure.
I almost was like, look,
It's really just stepping out of my comfort zone, bro. Like, being uncomfortable. Like, for so long, I just felt comfortable, because people were like, yeah, bro, you doing it. Or I'm inspired by you. And, you kind of you soak that in, and you kind of like live in that. And it's just like, I think now for me doing stuff like this, getting out there, writing a book, it's just like I'm getting out of that shell. And plus I've been reading mad books on leadership, and I've been just brushing up. So now I know if the opportunity came to me to lead a team or lead a person, like, I have it now. And it's just because I wanted that skill, and I went to go through literature and through reading, through talking, watching podcasts, or watching other people that I look up to. I finally was like, okay, like, I feel like now I can sit people down and be like, yo, this is what we need to do. This is the game plan. Be a leader, bro.
and people forget.
You're going through this right now.
Yeah.
That's why he's relating with you on this big time, because he's having to lead people right now in his businesses.
And if you never led, it's like sometimes you're overly aggressive. Sometimes you're like, you be coming off the wrong way.
Right.
Like, a lot of people have told me like, yo, bro, I would have loved to work with you, but like you too like nitpicky, bro. Like, you want it your way or nothing, and it's like it's hard to work with that, and it's like then you start understanding when you ask people like damn, like, now I understand why it was so hard for people to understand, because I was all over the place, bro. Like, I was like, yo, we should do this, or nah, I want to do this, and it's like, bro, when people are listening to that, they're like, yo, this guy doesn't, like, he's not organized. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have structure, and I think
At
that's
the end of
the
the
thing.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Before I didn't mean to cut you off. A lot of people have to understand and talk about leadership. That a lot of people don't talk about why leadership is one of the most important things for an entrepreneur and being a business owner. Not only do people have to like you, they have to respect you, and you have to separate the two. But you need both. When I say separate the two, because they like you, don't mean they respect you. Why? You know what I mean? Because some people can put on the front like, oh, I like you, because you're my boss, but I don't respect how you treat me, or how you talk to that person, and that person. I like you because you pay me. I like you because you know what I mean. You got me in the position that I am, but I don't like some of the things that you do, or I like some of the things you do, and I don't like some of the things you do. But I've noticed at the end of the day, you need both. You know. I need you not because I like you don't mean I respect you.
Right.
Well, let me tell you something too, man. Like, this is, man, I learned a lot from this podcast too. But I've always just kind of had no choice but to lead if I wanted to be successful. Like I just did that.
Yeah.
I literally just had no choice.
Right.
But you're a man, right?
Yeah.
leading is already in your genetics.
Right.
Because every man at some point has to lead their family.
Right.
Like you're a leader.
Yeah.
You just need to dig deep.
Yeah.
And you're a creative person.
Yeah.
I have a lot of creativity in me too, and I have a lot of nerd in me, dude.
Right.
So I could see why you want to be in that box. Because that box is safe, and actually it's the most comfortable spot to be in.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a lot. This dude knows. I got a lot of nerd in me, low key, that people don't know about.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like to be in that box, right?
Right.
But that box goes nowhere.
Exactly.
It stays right there
Exactly.
if you don't push it out.
Right.
Exactly.
And so you gotta learn. You gotta find balance because. This is gonna be the hardest shit that you ever did. What you're about to do right now.
I feel
the
it, bro.
hardest shit, dude.
And I said that backwards, man. I mean, you ain't gotta respect me. You ain't gotta like me, but you gotta. You will respect me. Y'all got that? You didn't catch it?
Nah.
My
No,
bad.
I
I
just
said
knew
it.
what you meant,
You
so.
knew what I meant, but I was saying backwards. I'm pretty sure my people.
We're
that was
gonna
watching-
see some trolls for
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah.
We get trolls in this motherfucker, dude.
But
We
you know
don't
what
give a
I was
shit,
saying?
though.
You ain't gotta like me,
Yeah.
but you will respect me.
Yeah.
That's what I meant in
Yeah.
leadership. Dang it. I said it backwards and I'm like, hold on. I'm gonna catch
you caught
that.
it, though.
I caught it. But
That's
people
good.
know it because I say that all the time.
Right.
You ain't gotta like me, but you will respect me.
Right.
And
But respect comes from how you moving in a room. You
Yeah,
know?
so-
you have to move a certain way for people to respect you, and
Right.
like that's what I think I've been learning over the years. Like I got to move a certain way, and I can't expect everybody to just follow.
You know what it is? Still get a mentor, man. Because the thing is we get a lot of entrepreneurs in here, right? And we talk about so much stuff, man. Leadership, all this. But I think the biggest thing that a person, especially that has it in them already, like you got something, dude, right? Has it in them is they're afraid to take the leap because they don't think it's perfect enough.
Right. And I'm a perfectionist by nature.
And that's the thing is you got to let it just go out there.
Yeah.
Eventually, you can make all your shit perfect as you want to go down the line. But that takes a lot of money to make it perfect like that, right? You got to put it out there and just keep going.
you hear what he said? He said it takes a lot of money to get it perfect.
Nah, it does, bro.
And that's what people don't understand
that's
in
why
business.
they'll never start.
Right.
That's why they'll never start.
Because they want to get it perfect, and it takes a lot of money to get it perfect.
And that was my challenge, bro. I wanted everything to be perfect with this brand. Like I didn't want to do this because this, like, same with the podcast, bro. I was like, nah, I gotta have the book, bro.
You gotta look at this like wolves gotta eat, right? That shit don't always look pretty.
Right.
You gotta fucking tear that shit up.
And you remember how we came? Ain't none of this was in here when we
No.
first came in here. We had one camera sitting over there. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But most people want it to be perfect.
They wanted to start off like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
And
happen.
I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, I've been there in a lot of things that I do. You know what I mean? Even now, you know, I want in my businesses, I want everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
But it don't work
Not
like
gonna
that.
happen.
It's not going to happen.
You're gonna
And see,
fuck
that's
up
what
a
I'm
lot.
learning, though.
No, what you need to understand even more though is now that you took that step out of fear, things are gonna really fuck up. Like
Oh,
it's gonna happen.
Bro, I see it.
And you just gotta let it get flow, and you just keep going.
Yeah.
Just gotta keep taking those steps. Like,
Yeah.
hey, just run through all that shit.
Right.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
Where does reap where you sow come from?
I mean, it's the biblical term, you know what I'm saying, and
Let's
just
talk
whatever
about
whatever you do is what you get back. You know what I'm saying, but I used it in a way where I changed the sow SOW to SEW to represent sowing, you know, and represent my story. But it's the same saying. It's just like I've put it together to make it tell the story of the book and the name of the title. But reap what you sow. I mean, you know, that's like the karma. You know, it's the you know, how you treat somebody is how you gonna be treated. What you do is gonna always come back, and that's what I learned with getting the F. Reap what you sow, and that's why, you know, that's why I was faced with the adversity because I did the wrong thing, and I pay for it. You know, so you know, it's just that saying, bro. I just live by that, but I liked how I can flip that word and make it be fashion.
To your liking and understanding.
And just to me.
I want to ask you another question.
Yeah.
So, what's your next step?
The next step, bro, is apply leadership. Really build this brand on the level where it should have been this whole time. And I'm doing that by really just being intentional with everything that I do and just really like opening myself to fail, doing things that I know I might not like in that moment. It's not perfect, but I'm still doing it. Like this book, bro, like you know, I was going back and forth with titles, with changing the font, moving shit around, and then I finally was like, bro, look, just drop the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Can I tell you something? Though?
Yeah.
You're gonna fail a shit
Bro,
ton of
I've
times.
failed my whole life.
You know, but
Like,
these
you know what I'm
next
saying?
steps, these next steps, you're gonna fail a shit ton of
Yeah,
times, dude.
yeah.
It don't fucking matter though.
Yeah.
Just like, dude, I failed so fucking much,
Yeah.
dude. You even seen the shit that I was trying to do.
Yeah.
I failed so fucking much, dude.
Yeah.
Like, but it doesn't matter. You just keep going.
Yeah.
Now I got this business.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. You just gotta keep going,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
And another thing too, man, I want to talk about is sometimes when you live through like trauma and adversity so much, you start living. You think everything is supposed to be like that. You think you're supposed to be creating from if things ain't going wrong, oh, something ain't right.
Oh, so that's where you're creating from.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what I ask you. Hold on.
Yeah.
This is a question I ask all creators that come in here.
Okay.
I say, what is your creative spark? You're just telling me right
Yeah.
now.
It's from adversity. So like when I'm going through shit, I'm like that's what fuels me to create. You know, but what I learned later in life is like you can't be in that energy.
No.
You can't live in that energy
Hell
because
nah.
you that's how you attract bad shit.
Yes.
You know, you're attracting the wrong energy, and then you feel like that's the only place you can be creative from because you're like, yo, if I'm not going through something, I have nothing to. I mean, I'm sure it's something with musicians probably go through the same shit, but it's like that's a bad place to create from. And for so long, I lived in that, bro. I was like, yo,
Yes.
I went through this, so I gotta use this as fuel to keep designing because I'm in this energy and fuck that. I want to show people like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not from a place of like abundance and growth.
That
and
shit will
like,
destroy you inside
bro,
out, man.
because you'll make something.
That's just like music.
Yeah.
You got to be careful, you know what I mean? Because it's
I'm sure artists be like, I ain't going through shit. I can't rap.
right. Yeah.
Or I can't make a song. And like, you got to get out of that, bro. And that's one thing I want to tell people. Like, if you consistently creating from a space where like it's dark and you going through shit, like, don't let that be the norm. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that be the place where you're always pulling from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pull from the happy shit. Pull from the growth. Pull from like.
And when people go in their relationships and they're going through these this
they
relationship
making
issues and problems,
Right.
they listening to these sad songs.
But
and they
it's like bringing you back to that energy. It's
yeah.
like you gotta listen
It's
to
keeping
the new
them
track.
there in that sad,
Right.
that bad energy.
Yeah.
You need to surround yourself with people too that are doing better than you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to surround yourself with people that you can look up to. I started doing that. Are people doing something different than you,
Yeah.
but they're doing something different where it's like, oh damn, I can do this too.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So you want to surround yourself with people like that
Yeah.
because all that other shit will bring you down.
Yeah.
It'll fucking kill you. Dude.
Yeah, bro. And
know what I mean?
that's what I battle too, bro. And that's why now I'm starting to get out to where I'm trying to put myself in these rooms where it's like, you know, I've got a mentor right now. It's not for fashion, but it's for like trading, because I'm starting to get into like day trading and stuff like that and learning about stocks. And right away I got a mentor because I knew that like I was gonna go through this battle again with this new craft that I want to pick up. So I was like, so now I'm applying that mentorship. So I do want to get a mentor in fashion though, even though I've been doing this shit for so long. I'm
Yeah,
open
you
to
should
that.
always have one.
Yeah, I'm open
And-
to that
and
for sure
anything,
now.
you should always
Before
have-
I used to be like, nah, bro, what I need that for? I already
Right.
learned everything
Dude,
I'm on.
the baddest dudes in business that are making literally millions to billions of dollars, those guys all have mentors.
Yeah.
So that just tells you, dude, you're not too good for a mentor.
Right.
You might outgrow that mentor though.
Right.
That's what people need to understand.
Yeah.
Because there's people that they outgrew. They're talking about this all the time.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Davis, he's one of the fucking
Yeah, I know
baddest
that dude.
dude. Okay, so he had mentors and he outgrows them, and then he
Yeah.
gets another mentor.
Yeah.
So he's gonna always have somebody, dude,
Yeah.
to mentor you on business,
Right.
fashion, whatever you want to do. Like try to get to that
Yeah.
point where you can get that mentor.
And I want to be a mentor too. So it's like,
That's right.
So it's like, you know, I want to be in that space too. And I feel like right now with this book, it's my introduction to being a mentor, because it's like if somebody asks me like, bro, how do I start a brand? It's like, here you go, bro.
Right.
Like, here's all the information you need. If you got any questions, hit me. But this is a bulk of like what you need to know. So I think this is my beginning of that. But I also am hyper aware that, you know, I'm not too good to get a mentor that's gonna help me grow too.
Well, you know what's crazy is I just started mentoring somebody, right? And it keeps you on your game.
Yeah.
So even mentoring somebody
accountable.
else, it keeps you on your game. You're like, damn, Like, wait a minute, I'm teaching her this, but I ain't doing that shit no more.
Yeah.
Like, so you're like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. So it kind of starts straightening you up a little bit too.
Self-awareness, like in that moment.
I'm telling you.
Who else is helping you with your business?
Honestly, it's just me, man.
And that's what-
I
and-
have
and
my
that's
mom.
where-
I have my mom's that does like the back end.
Mm-hmm.
She does the numbers. You know, she does the taxes and the accounting, the logistics part of it.
Right.
But yeah, it's just me, man. And honestly, that's just because, like I said, I'm a perfectionist, and
Right.
I always be like, yo, if I'm gonna hire somebody, they got to be the best.
Right.
You know what I mean? They got to outwork me.
Hey, but listen, hey, yeah.
Yeah.
But and going into this new leadership journey you're going into,
Yeah.
or just business partnership or whatever to grow your business, because of course you're going to need a partner.
Right.
You're going to need, business
Scale,
partners.
yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, what I recommend is getting people that's close to you, or this is just me personally,
Yeah.
or family.
Right.
That you could trust. You can't trust everybody. Know you can't trust all your family.
Right.
You can trust all your friends.
Yeah.
But you gotta. I will pick someone inside.
Yeah.
Starting my business,
Yeah.
and then you go outside. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? To help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody that you could trust.
Right.
You know what I mean? Somebody that you know. Somebody
Yeah.
that's been watching and seeing your vision.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Somebody that's already buying into your vision.
Right.
Because that's important. Because
Yeah.
you're gonna, you don't want to be going back and forth with somebody who don't know,
Yeah, the vision.
the vision, or haven't seen the vision, or
Yeah.
haven't seen your labor.
Right.
You know what I mean, and don't know the fruits of your labor that you've already put into
Right.
this.
Yeah.
So I would stick with somebody very close to me in the
Yeah.
beginning, and you lead them into
Yeah.
into where the promised
Yeah.
land where you're going.
Also, tapping into the youth has been hard for me, bro, because of my age, bro. Like, I'm not in rooms with 20, 21, 24-year-olds, so it's like, I'm like, how do I, and I don't be going out often like that, so it's like, how do I tap into the youth? And it's literally social media, and I don't utilize social media. So it's like, bro, like, you gotta do these, like, you have all this vision of, like, you have to get to the
Find
youth.
them. Find
It's
that.
like, it's
find
like you
the
need
cousin,
to.
Time. We'll do
find
channel
that
with them right
cousin.
now.
Find that.
Shit, man.
Find that.
I'm down, bro.
Find
Like-
that cousin. Somebody who's
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, because I feel like the youth is that's what you need to tap into. Those are the people that's on TikTok. Those are the people that doing outfit changes and doing like, yo, this is what I wore today. Like, that's the people that's growing brands right now. And it's like, if you're not like, I have a big disconnect because my fan base is kind of older, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to figure out, how do I get these young cats involved? Because a lot of the topics too are a little deep. And the younger
They ain't deep at all right now.
They don't want to get deep. They're like, yo, bro, it says what on your shirt? I don't know what that is. Like, I'm cool, bro. I'm not gonna really wear that.
They ain't deep no more, dude.
Nah, so that's why it's
Nah.
like, also you have, like, I'm aware of that. So now when I'm creating, I'm like, bro, don't get too deep. Like, everything don't have to be deep. Just make fire clothes. You know what I mean? Like, just create dope shit. And like, sometimes it don't have to line up with like, your historical background or like your ethnicity. Like, and that's one of my good friends, bro. He sat me down and was like, look, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, you've been kind of radical on your brown shit. Like, and
It's cool when your friends do that shit
Yeah,
to you, though,
bro,
right?
and
These
he-
guys do that shit to me sometimes.
and he was like, bro, like, I fuck with you and like, you creative, but like, I can't wear that shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, he's like, bro, I can't be going out wearing stuff like that. And he's like, and he's letting me know, like, bro, it's, you could scale back sometimes and still be creative. You're still creative. It's just you don't have to beat on that, like, bro, like the empowerment shit. And it's just because, like,
And you don't-
I'm passionate about
Right,
it, but
right.
also it's like,
Be passionate for sure. Never stop your passion.
Yeah, keep
no,
that.
yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
also it's like, I'm creative, bro. I could pivot too.
Right.
I have other things I could talk about. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be that all the time.
You're in the zone, right? That's why. You're
But
in
that's
the
how I
zone.
am. Like, I just when I'm passionate about something, I just lock in, bro. And I think that's what I'm. He told me, like, yo, bro, like,
But also, there is a large brand out there. But also remember where you're at too.
Yeah.
Because you got to reach where you're at too
Yeah.
in your brand.
Yeah.
with the majority. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's if that's your passion, that's your passion.
Think of it like this too, like you got like all the underground rappers that only like the cult listen to, and then you got the ones that lifestyle type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you got all these different people, and yours can go anywhere.
Yeah,
right.
So
but I want to be able to tap into like the youth, and I want them to feel comfortable wearing it. You know what I mean? I don't want them to feel like, bro, I might get into an altercation, or I might get into the conversation I don't want to have when I'm out just wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes, I'm starting to be more aware of that, as opposed to just being like, nah, bro, you're gonna learn about this. Like, this is my story, and you're gonna learn about this topic. So, just being a little more open-minded about the different things I could be putting out and talking about and things like that. So
you love marketing, I see.
Yeah, that's marketing is everything, but that's also changed. Like, new marketing is different.
Yeah, it's different.
Like, I give a lot of old marketing.
You're not going to get as much viewers or people seeing your stuff with your marketing.
Like, I do talk about like the benefits of the internet and everything in there, but I talk about guerrilla marketing a lot.
Yeah, but see, it all starts from that anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, social media is where it's at, dude. Like, push, keep pushing, like, and use your creativity. I've seen your videos and stuff like that. Just keep pushing that creativity. Because I can see you putting it in your videos, too. Mm-hmm. Like, you got a whole different vibe, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I really think there's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
Like I said, we could do a whole nother channel, man, on fashion.
Hey,
and you could be running that channel on fashion.
I'm down, bro. Like, I feel like I could. I'm knowledgeable enough to ask those questions now to another creative and really challenge them. Like,
that'd be dope. Bringing other fashion or people in here.
Like, really have those questions that don't sound like, oh, well, like just basic questions, but really like get deep into their story. You know, I could probably bring that out. So yeah, man.
I want because we're running out of time right now, but I do want to ask this last question that we got. You have another question before I ask this one?
No, we already.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I just seen. I was like, dang.
Oh yeah, the time.
Damn, we didn't even get into a lot of stuff.
I know we're gonna have to bring him back. I'm telling you, I knew right off the bat we're gonna have to bring him back.
Oh wow!
I knew that from when you first stepped in there. We're gonna have to bring him back for part 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with a part 2, bro.
Yeah, let's do it.
Bring another fit.
But I wanted to I wanted to ask you, okay, take all that away, right?
Yeah.
Because you said that first off, you said your brand is you, though.
Yeah.
So actually, no, we're gonna keep that right now.
Right.
So let's go into that deep down inside your heart. If your heart was to speak to us, then who are you?
I mean, I'm like I said, like I started it off, bro. I'm just like a kid born of immigrants that's really just trying to make my parents proud, and really trying to empower my people and empower people around me, and really just show them that you can make it whatever adversities you've been through, and I really just want to be that light, so people can really know, like, damn, like, I've really been through some shit, but I can still push through, and I can still, even though I come from here or whatever, I can still make something happen, and it's still possible. And even like I said, I still did it even without really the internet like that, or without because if you notice, you go on social media, everybody's like, oh, this is how you make $100,000, or this is how you make $1 million. Like, you can do that without the internet, bro. Like, it's gonna be like probably not the way people want to do it anymore, but I did it. I did it hand-to-hand sales. I made 6 figures, like, selling shit out my trunk. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, but that's the story that's just like, that's the old head story.
Yeah, but that sales that you have, that sales that you did when you did that, that's never going to change. So you got to have that skill. If you can scale to a whole nother level with that sales skill that you did.
Yeah.
So and the new people ain't going to have
platform,
that.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
I mean, with any business, you still have to have
that grind. Yeah.
So you're going to have something that they don't have.
Yeah.
And now you put that to this, you're a whole different beast.
Right.
Now.
And I feel the same way, bro. Because I know I can go like hard with this video thing if I really apply myself. And like you said, it's, it doesn't take much to really just go big with this if you're consistent. Yeah. Yeah.
Off topic, does your ring mean anything? Let us see your rings.
Nah, I mean, they're all from Mexico. They're all from a brand called Cruzada, which is like my favorite silver ring brand from Mexico City. And it's a little bit cultural, Virgin Mary, but for the most part, it's just a brand I love because they make everything in house. it's like real silver, and they just like put time and passion into the shit. So I go out there and I get a ring. Every time I go to Mexico City, I get a new ring. So it's just, it do mean something. But yeah, I just love the craftsmanship, really.
What we could do, dude, I'm already thinking, like, when you come, we got to have you back on for part 2. We can always talk about the channel and all that. But I know
people want to hear some fun shit. We over here just talking about
well, we got to get it.
business shit, like.
Well, it's good to do. This one's going to be good because we keep doing because we have other people we're going to do part 2s with too. So it'd be good to get you on, and we could even talk more into fashion too.
Yeah.
Get more deep into you and bring in fashion with that.
Right.
Because that's your thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's something we can even get involved in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
So,
we could talk about fashion all day. Like I love talking about fashion and and just style, and I feel like a lot of people when they go out, when they dress themselves, like a lot of it is just how things fit on your body is the most important thing, bro. Like a lot of people think it's like what brand I'm wearing, you know what I'm saying? What this, what that. A lot of it is like you got to know what looks on your body, bro.
Yeah.
Because, do
you look good in it?
Do you look good in it? Like
right.
some people, so you might give me that shirt and it looks drapey on me and
right.
it don't fit me right. And that's going to relay a whole different message when you walk in the room. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of people don't have that.
Oh, okay. Do we have any chats?
We have chats, but no questions.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna keep rolling, man. We're gonna go a little longer.
Yeah,
because we got people watching you right now. What's going on? Hey, you might as well say hi to your people, dude. Because I know
what's
they're
going on,
probably your
everybody?
people.
I mean, maybe your people too.
Yeah. Well, if you got any
I called
questions,
a few people and told them to get on too. So
Yeah.
if you got any questions, why don't you ask them some questions?
Yeah.
Anybody in the chat?
So what do you like about fashion? Tell us what do you love most about fashion? Even like I know that's your creative spark.
Yeah.
But
I just love how it's like the first thing people judge, like the first thing people see before you even open your mouth. Mm-hmm. So I love that. Like you don't even have to open your mouth, bro, and they could just know what you about, like what you represent, the confidence you have, and I love that. I love that aspect of fashion because it's like you every day you presenting yourself to the world this way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think it's dope.
So what else? What other kind of fashion do you create?
Tell us. What do you got? What kind of? What do you got?
I mean, I have like men's. Like I have like little short sleeve puffer jackets. I got like some nice wool button ups, zip ups. I lately I've been doing a lot of graphic tees just because like I've been really zoning in on my graphic design, but it's a little bit of everything, bro. I do want to get into making shoes and boots and footwear is definitely a lane I want to start exploring into. But for the most part, it's like your headwear, your traditional, some outerwear, some pants,
Damn.
Yeah. But I do want to start getting into like crazy shit,
So what?
Like just the shit that I be coming up in my head, like just pieces that are just like not even like just crazier than this. You know what I mean? Just stuff that I have sketched out that I'm like, like I have to like perfect it. You know what I'm saying? I have to get the fit right, different things like that. But yeah, man, sky's the limit. And that's the thing about fashion, bro. It's like you can make it however you want to make it.
We got someone in the chat asking a question.
From who?
Okay.
From whom? Who's this from?
Ronnie's boy, I think. OG.
Okay.
From who? OG who? I want to shout him out.
What is it? I don't have my glasses, but
OGX Murder X.
Oh shit.
OG ex murderer.
Yeah, damn.
Damn, what's up? Shout out to you,
I
bro.
got some beef. That's
I
crazy.
know it was Ronnie's boy, right?
What's the question?
He wants to know where you from.
Where you from, mister?
My
Where
God.
you from?
No, you ain't gotta
man.
do all that. Nah.
Oh man.
Nah, we ain't gotta do all that.
I got gangbang. First question, gangbang.
The first question is
No. I'm from Fontana. I was born in West Covina actually, and I was raised in
I was
Fontana.
born in Azusa.
I was born in Queen of the Valley.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Huh?
Tina Guzman.
Okay.
Oh, we got a question from Tina Guzman. Shout out,
Does
Tina.
he have an online store? Do you have an
Yeah.
online
Yeah.
store?
It's barelybrokeLA.com.
BarelyBrokeLA.com.
BarelyBrokeLA.com. And we got women's wear too.
Oh, women's wear. See, there you go, Tina.
We got women's wear.
Yep.
Not too crazy. but we
Thongs
got
and
some-
everything. I'm just saying.
Nah, we're not there yet.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Man, thank you for coming, man. I hope,
No, it's love, man. Thank
That's-
you for having me. My first podcast. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it was a good
I
experience.
know you was nervous in the beginning, but
Nah,
how
for
was
sure. Nah, it was good. Once you start getting in the flow, it's like
it? Easy
fun.
money.
Yeah, it's easy money. It's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, there it is.
Yeah, no.
Dude, we definitely gonna talk after this though.
Yeah, let's do
Because
it.
yeah, there's a lot we can do. There's a
Yeah.
lot. Sky's the limit with what we're doing too. We don't even know what we got going on yet. We just know we're moving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
just keep that movement going.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, we appreciate you coming. I've
Me
been
too.
wanting to get him on
And
a long
my
time.
book, if y'all want to grab
Oh.
the book,
Yeah.
that's on ricardomontano.com. So the book is definitely, it's on a different site than my clothing. So
Why don't you spell it out to them?
it's Ricardo, Ricardo, Montano, Montano.com. And you can grab it there.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
And just tell everybody, shed the sheep. That's our slogan.
Shed the sheep.
Shed the sheep, man.
The sheet.
Go ahead, do your thing, Ronnie. Let's rock.
House of a Baz. I'm Ronnie Adams.
I'm Jacob Casas. Shed the sheep. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for coming on, man. And we're out.
Let's get it.